This is the RZ from Lexus. It is their all-electric vehicle, and it hasn't honestly been that long since it first came out, but they are doing a few upgrades on this that when I tell you what they are, they're gonna sound pretty significant, so let's get into it.
It gets the same platform and new updated powertrain bits as Toyota's BZ, which used to be the BZ4X, though Lexus has not changed the name, so they're a little bit ahead.
The most important update here revolves around the battery, and for an EV driver, that means two things: improved power and improved range. Now, I am actually going to test the power and the range on this thing, range mostly, because it is as hot as it can get in Portugal, and I'm gonna have this air conditioning on full blast, maybe even the ventilated seats this whole way. So hold on to your...
In 600 meters, at the roundabout.
Here are some power numbers for you first. The front-wheel drive single-motor RZ 350e gets 224 horsepower. For the RZ 450e all-wheel drive, you're looking at 308 horses.
The other thing that is all new is a brand new trim level. This is the 550e F Sport. This one is going to make 408 horsepower. Now, just to kind of level set here a little bit, we do not have access to the 450e, only the 500e, which is a European spec. This car is also a European spec, but it's very similar. So right now, I'm gonna tell you what it's like to drive this thing.
Take the second exit.
If you get the 550e, that's powered by a 77 kilowatt battery, while both the 350 and 450 RZ receive power from a 75 kilowatt battery.
So the chemistry is not necessarily new in those batteries, but there are just more cells that are now available in each one of them. So that is what is affording the RZ a little bit more in the power and the range departments. 408 horsepower in an electric vehicle, especially one that's this size, is absolutely plenty. I'm not like bummed at all about how the throttle is responding. I think it's super quick. It's, I mean, a lot of fun, and yeah, this thing just kind of rockets around turns. A little bit of body roll, but you know. The 550e F Sport does get what is called M mode, and it is a virtual manual shifting mode. Yes, virtual, because you're not really going through any gears, but what Lexus is doing is kind of simulating gear shifts. You have paddle shifters here, and you guys, when my drive partner first turned this thing on, he turned into a 12-year-old man that honestly became very rascally, and there was a lot of giggling that happened. So there's this very artificial but very sort of spaceshipy noise that is getting pumped into the cabin right now. And I'm gonna go over this bump. It's a speed bump. I'm gonna downshift, you can hear that. And then I'm going to be really honest and say that when they are doing the shifts, they're making it so apparent. They're not just simulating shifts, like they're simulating like Formula One shifts, like back from the 1980s or 90s, I think. It's, when I first got in this car, I was like, you know what, this is either gonna be like super cool or a total gimmick. And it's a very cool gimmick. Like, I don't know anyone who's gonna actually buy this car, who's gonna use this all the time, but when they do, they're gonna be really, really happy about it. It's so silly. So just one more thing to reinforce the fact that you are pretty quick in this thing. The 550e F Sport goes from 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds. You don't need anything faster than that in your normal daily driver. One quick note about the seats. I am quite comfortable in them. However, I'm going to note that in the shoulders, it's pretty narrow. My shoulders fit in quite comfortably. If you have a bigger driver in this car, they may sort of ooze over the seat with this bolstering just a little bit, and it might not be the most comfortable experience. So make sure you sit in the seat, make sure it feels good.
Slide left.
And then make a slight left.
Ooze over? I mean, come on. That is
Did I,
insulting.
did I say
Roundabout,
that?
take the second exit.
No, I'm going to have to.
Ooze over.
The 350E is not an F Sport. You're going to get about 220 horsepower in this one, so it's about half of what you're getting in the other one. And honestly, you definitely do feel it. This one for sure has more Toyota BZ vibes than the F Sport does, the 550E. You definitely feel like a little bit more body roll in this one. It's not as refined, it's not as sophisticated. The other thing that I will say is you do not get those bolstered sport seats, so you do kind of ooze over these ones a little bit, and you feel a lot more sloshing around in this version than you do the 550E. It does make up for the lack of power with that 300 miles of range, so you do have something really good going for you. I can't tell if this interior is blue or gray, but if it's blue, I'm here for it. It looks different in every light, so I don't know. What do you think?
The 500E, remember this is the one that we don't get, so it's a little bit more powerful, but it feels like a nice balance between the first two that I drove. You do get good initial power, and the all-wheel drive keeps you firmly glued to the road. I'm gonna guess that this will be the model that most folks buy into. It offers nice power and still does decently well in the range department, though it doesn't have the sport seats, so you are still moving around a bit when you're going around turns. I'm very pleased that our drive took us on some cobblestone streets, some very uneven roads, and some smooth stuff too. It really gave me a chance to feel the difference in the sport tune suspension on the 550E, which actually felt great. It definitely offered up more of a sporty and sophisticated ride, but didn't feel harsh, so it was still very comfortable. The 350E, however, was my least favorite of all of them that I drove. After the other two, it did feel a little bit unruly, too floaty. There was a lot of movement around turns, and it just in general, if it wasn't going in a straight line, it felt a little bit unsettled.
You do get regenerative braking. There is no mode that is a true one pedal situation here, but you do have 4 levels of regen, and the most aggressive one is nice, kind of makes it a little bit fun to play around with. And then you can go, you just use the paddles here, then you can go to 0, which is absolutely nothing. I prefer driving these things with the regen on. I just think it makes it more interesting, but you do have it there as an option if you want it.
But chances are, if you're springing for the 350E, you're not going to be carving up canyons, and this is going to be a car that commutes on highways to and from work. So if you're not really pushing it, then you might not even notice the things that I did. Inside the cabin, you get a pleasant experience. It's quiet, except of course if you throw it into manual mode in the 550F Sport. Visibility looks good. There's nothing glaring about this interior that feels like a red flag. Materials are nice. It's giving premium vibes through and through.
As far as the interior goes, while I'm driving and interacting with it, I think it actually all works really well. The screen is nice and big. The graphics are pretty clear even in this very bright sun. This digital instrument panel here is a little matted, whereas this is a little bit shiny, and it's hooded here with a shroud, so I don't get a lot of glare. I can see everything really nicely and easily. As for the placement of everything too, I think it's terrific. The buttons are fine. There's piano black here, which would make Mike Danger nuts, but I'm okay with that too. This is a very pleasing interior that has everything where you want it to be. The switchgear kind of feels nice. It's not super plasticky, but yeah, I think they've done a really nice job. I don't think this car is going to displease anybody.
There is one disappointment here for the US market, and that's the once promised yoke steering wheel and steer-by-wire system. The system is cool. It basically removes the steering shaft and uses 2 motors that reads the road for bumps and imperfections. Look, if you like feedback in your hands, this is going to feel even more unnatural than like electronically assisted steering. What you feel in the road through the tires, you will not even remotely feel in your hands. If you are one of those people who likes to kind of have that feeling, then this probably is not for you. For my taste, the yoke steering wheel definitely is not for me. It would take so much getting used to. It's handy because it's not really ready for prime time in the United States, There's no hint from Lexus of when that's coming just because of regulations, but do know that this is a technology that will be in every Lexus moving forward. It's just at some point, we don't know when that point is for the US market. All RZs now come equipped with the standard NACS charger, opening up the Tesla supercharging network to buyers. The port is now on the passenger side of the car for easier charging. No, not on this one because these cars are European spec, but it will be on ours. That new position should make it much easier and faster for folks to charge, unless of course you're a Tesla owner who may now dislike that everyone else is using their charge stations.
When it comes to DC fast charging, your max capacity is only going to be 150 kilowatts. That's not terrible, but it's not great. It's not, 250 would be much nicer, but that will get you from 10% to 80% of charge in about 30 minutes. When it comes to level 1 and level 2, you now have an 11 kilowatt onboard charger. So that's up from 7 kilowatts for the last one, so you do get a little bit of an upgrade there as well.
Range numbers do improve across the board. The 350e gets 300 miles, which to me is, that's just the cost of entry. The 450e gets 260 miles when it rides on 18-inch wheels, and the 550 F Sport gets 225 miles when rolling on 20s.
Those numbers, I'm not gonna lie, they don't really wow me all that much. Even for the 550e F Sport, I would hope that, that we could sort of stay around the 300 mark. Look, does anybody need more than the 225 mile range number? No, it's unlikely, but I will say this, perception means a lot in this space, and every single one of the Lexus competitors is just putting up better numbers, even with their higher horsepowered variants.
The 550 F Sport does get some exterior characteristics that make it the F Sport, including a rear spoiler, front and rear bumper moldings, a distinctive front grille, 20-inch wheels with these aero covers. I think those are pretty cool. And of course, the badging. It also gets a two-tone paint option. It isn't quite my cup of tea, but that's super subjective, so you do you.
Certainly, I have plenty of room, tons of headroom up front, but we're gonna slip into the back and see how it looks back there. When you get back into the second row, I'm kind of feeling the same thing. And now this is behind my ideal seating position. You can see there's just a ton of room. I also have a lot of headroom here too. So for a longer legged passenger, you're really not gonna have any problems. As for cargo space, it's generous enough, but I really do think they bias toward the passenger space instead of cargo back here. You can tell that the load floor is fairly high, so it's going to be easy for you to kind of get things in and out, but also you've got a little extra bit under here, which is great for extra things. Overall, it's just enough.
Competitors here include the Audi Q4 e-tron, the Genesis GV60, Tesla's Model Y, the EQB from Mercedes, and the Volvo XC40 Recharge. That is a tidy list of others from which to choose at this point.
If you are ready to jump into the EV space and you're looking for something a little bit more on the premium side, like the Lexus RZ, click on the link above and Kelley Blue Book can help you find a fair purchase price on one. So how would I sum up the Lexus RZ? Well, the one thing I'm going to say is this. I think that Lexus is counting on the loyalty of their customers. Either you're a Toyota customer and you're ready to move up, or you're a dyed-in-the-wool Lexus fan. Most of what this car brings to the table truly impresses me. I think it has great driving dynamics, it has really interesting tech, and if you're opting for that 550e F Sport, it has a little bit of fun and sportiness that comes with it. It doesn't really match up when it comes to range with some of the other competitors, but you want to know something? For most people, that's just fine. However, if you are in the market for a premium EV that's on the smaller side, that's going to check off a lot of boxes for you, then definitely take a look at the RZ.